In this episode, we start after our society started giving you a better food supply that is capable of building more advanced civilizations and increasing the intelligence level of your species by means of a few selected genome changes. We also had students escape that were observing your world. We then started a new program to send our kids to your world to live as your species for a time, in a type of symbiosis that benefits both species. We did help your societies advance, as a part of the program to prepare a good educational environment for our children. No matter what we tried, almost every leader of yours took advantage of their position, and used others as basically their own slave workforce. A workforce they would not have had, if it were not for the advancements that we helped to bring in. They had been shown those ways when the old world invaded yours. And again, when our students escaped. We needed new ways of getting them to abuse the others in the population less, so that our kids would have a better experience.
Hi, thanks for coming. We have something interesting ready to show you.
We were worried about all of the problems that you are having with the kids on the student level. The whole idea is a success, but they do not do what we want while over there. We keep trying to be rational and explain what we know in the most basic simple terms that we can, so they can understand why certain things are not in their best interest.
Daddy, you always like to tell me how much drama is in defense. I think we need more. Rather than going from what we know, we should start with what they believe. And then insert what we want them to know slowly into the most closely held belief systems. That way, they are already paying attention. We do not have to fight for the attention or their interest. If we go from what they are already interested in, no matter how good or bad, then insert as much as possible into that, then this would be better than nothing.
We could even use some of our interesting tricks to get them to favor one religion or another, based on what shows the most promise to us on an educational basis. A few of our tricks would be easy for us, yet would seem like either magic or a miraculous event. That certainly could work to help guide them, if used cautiously. Here, let me be right back, just a second.
You will love this.
Greetings, Earthlings. We come in peace. Or some peace, as long as you serve us. Otherwise you are lunch. Haha, just kidding. How do you like the alien I made? We even got a flying craft to use with it for good effect. We can remote control this from any pod from long distances.
And that is not all we can do. We can be angels of light, with glory and love, creatures of darkness, scary and cold, or fiery demons, sent straight from hell. Or any other being we can dare to dream up. We've tried explaining and debating until we've lost our breath. All that they do is seem to choose death. To take others as slaves, or fight hard to look brave, but equality and peace seems always out of reach. No matter how we explain, our words are used in vain. So, let's fool them if we must, use our power to gain trust. They have to be told, or their world will soon die. Like our world of old, that bombs did vaporize. Any tool we can use, we must appear stronger. It is better some abuse than to see them no longer. With all the tricks we have, they will believe us. One way or another, they will believe. I have seen too many die to not try anything at this point.
Well, we already do tell them that we are not from this planet. We had started just bringing our kids down, and letting them remember a bit. That did not work. We had to go to removing all memories, in order for them to get anything out of the experience. Now anytime we go there, they think we are either gods or powerful aliens. They do not remember that we are the parents. I think the idea sounds like we should have thought of it earlier. Now that you present it, I do not know why we did not do more, to bring a bit of theater into this.
Once they get stronger as a society, we can also use them to appear stronger. Our technology is so advanced now, that we will have to dumb it down quite a bit, in order for them to understand it well enough to be intimidated by it. Take the flying machine. That is really old technology. We have not needed those for a long while now. But since they could not grasp what we really use now, having a big intimidating looking machine will be quite nice. we can also appear as a large number of different alien species. There is not any point they will be able to develop to where they will be a threat. Our technology is, so far, past theirs. They would not stand any chance at all. But since they cannot understand our tech at all, or that there's no hope to equal it, it is best to appear as a larger number of primitive aliens that they can understand and be scared of. There is also an old saying in war: appear weak when you are strong. That way you can catch them off guard. Appearing far weaker than we are will help us manipulate and teach them far better than if they knew of the real power difference between what they will develop and our technology.
Yes. Thanks so much. We will definitely use this. The drama department will need to work very closely with both the education and defense departments. Now, if you can excuse us, we have another meeting to go to. Thanks for the great show. That will be very useful.
Bye, Earthlings. See you later.
And from that point on, we never appeared as ourselves again in your world. In this video series, we will use the same characters to make things easier to tell. But in the real situations, we appeared as whatever we wanted, whether it was similar to our appearance, as any one of a number of fake aliens, or anything else we can dream up, a little while later.
Thanks for letting us come meet with you both. We always value your opinions and judgment about important matters.
Never a problem. Anything for our dear friends. How can we help you?
Well, we were thinking. We like the updates to the genome your department has done over these many years. We have had peace and stability for many years because of them, but now that we are working with the students on the humanoid level, we find that we are not understanding the human leaders well enough to help anticipate and influence their decisions. As you know, the most rich and powerful in their world generally have the most primitive, inbred, violent genetics of anyone on the planet. People get to be royalty and higher by force, or other type of depravity. They stay there generally, by keeping their royal blood pure, by marrying fairly close family members, generation after generation, for as long as they possibly can. This is a horrible recipe for ensuring that the worst possible genetics, and likely the worst possible people, stay in charge of everyone else. We are going to implement more ways of manipulating them, but we also feel that temporary changes to our genetics will be needed. There is just too large of a disconnect between their leaders and those in our society that need to manipulate them. We need to make adjustments to help some of us see things from their perspective better. Do you think that some safe temporary changes can be made, and do you think that will work?
Founder Rex, you know how much I deeply respect and love you, and how much I always will, but are you completely nuts? All of our highly advanced computer simulations show that there is already zero chance that we will be able to peacefully last forever, in even this peaceful genome. Every simulation without fail shows that we kill each other at some point, sooner or later. And now you want to make an already imperfect genome even worse intentionally? That seems to be a recipe for disaster. I know there are risks that they may later find out if we tamper with their genome too much. But if they have such a deeply flawed genome, the safer thing for everyone is to fix it. We already tried everything we could do to convince people to behave that had more violent genomes. It failed every time. The violent genome itself is one of the largest factors in the abysmally bad violence they have there. Why can we not just update their genome to be better? More peace, stability for all, with far less risk.
Yes, we do see this as a risky plan, and that is why it has to be only temporary. The other way may take too much time. It also has other things we would not want to deal with. We are old, well-trained, and very stable. We will be able to handle very carefully made changes. And you will be there to pull us back to safety, if needed.
We should be able to get something very effective at what you are looking to do. Since this is so risky, it is just a very few selected people that are very experienced, right?
Yes, of course. Plus family, of course. We would not want to risk tensions between family members because of new genome differences. Maybe 20 to 40% of society.
What? That is not advisable. Actually a really bad recipe for disaster. But hey, you are my dear friends. Anything for my dear friends.
While in retrospect, the decision to regress the genetics of some may now sound like a really dumb idea. It for some reason made sense then. I know, This might just sound like really bad writing on the part of the writer of this series, but it did happen. We did regress the genetics of a lot more than would be wise. Yes, it was a dumb thing to do, but this dumb thing was very effective in helping us manipulate the humanoid leaders pretty well. However, as you might be anticipating, if you have been paying any attention, it did lead to massive problems in both your world and ours, that likely would have been avoided, had we had the sense to do things differently. So to summarize, we decided to use all manner of ways that our very capable drama department has, to appear as whoever we feel we need to, in order to make a better world. We decided to start working from what you already believed in, and slowly injecting more and more useful information into that, rather than just telling you our version. We decided to go with a highly pragmatic approach, rather than one that would theoretically bring more truth, as this worked out far better in practice. Please stay tuned to see how this theory works out in practice. We will not go over every small detail, but there are specifics about certain events, and certain groups, that will need to be covered, to give you a better chance at really understanding what is going on in your world, in your time.